Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 41 of Direwolf20's Satisfactory Let's Play series, where today we're going to get, hopefully, all this uranium stuff cooking. That's the plan. That's the plan. We're going to find out. So what I've already started connecting up is my coal and iron into my steel ingot maker, right, our foundry here, ready to go. And I'm tweaking the numbers here, just starting to look at what we're going to need numbers-wise to make this happen, right? And I kind of want to do this in a relatively intelligible way so that it's sort of expandable. So, because I don't know how much uranium we're going to need in the long run, right? So if I build this in like kind of a straight line-ish approach, what I can ensure is that like, okay, now I need, right, more foundries, right? So I can easily just, you know, boop, boop, and as many as I need, right? And the same for other resources. And if I needed to reposition this so that he was more over here-ish, I could absolutely do that easily. And the same for these two resources, right? But for now, we're just getting the basics down. So this foundry is going to be one of the first things that we're going to connect up. And that's going to turn iron and coal. I'm not going to do the more advanced iron recipe because I don't need to. Looking at the amount of steel I need, we should be fine. So check this out. We're going to be making 45 steel per minute here, right? And then what I want to have is a constructor. And maybe it would be a good idea to put on my Cratoflate dude, just so I can check this out, right? So constructor is going to go right here-ish. Okay, so that he's aligned with the output of this dude. Ah, there you are. Sure. Okay, and you're going to construct steel beams. Now you need 60 per minute to make 15 steel beams per minute, okay? But we're only making 45 here. But trust me, that's not going to be a problem, and you'll find out why in a moment. From there, we're going to need an assembler, which we want to have aligned properly. And you're going to boop right into there, and you're going to make encased steel beams, okay? So let's make sure that you're connected to a power line. Make sure that you're connected to a power line, ready to accept those resources, okay? So you're going to make that for me, okay? And then you're going to make this, and you're making 6 per minute. Now remember, we said that we wanted our manufacturers, which I'm going to put a little bit of a ways away. Maybe this way. We're going to want 2 of these making uranium fuel rods. They need 1.2 encased industrial beams per minute. And these are the only thing that we need encased industrial beams for, which means in total we need 2.4 of these, right? Which means I can throttle this down to be 2.4. Okay. I can throw some of that in there, and that should be cool. Right? So now you only need 9.6 steel beams per minute. Cool. So I'm going to throttle you down to 10, which means that, and as soon as you're done crafting, we'll see that you only need 40 steel ingots per minute, which means that you're good at making 45. So he's making more than he needs. This is making a little bit more than he needs. This is making exactly what he needs. If we wanted to round this up to 2.5 just to be cool, it wouldn't hurt, right? You know, whatever. And that looks good to me. Yeah? Is that cool? I think it's cool. I think it should be good. Now, you also need concrete, which, you know, luckily we have a way to get. Whoosh. Right? So you're going to make your industrial steel beams, and then you're going to basically feed directly into... Let's have a splitter here. I'm not entirely sure how I want this to work, but we'll figure it out. If I do this... Nope, that's not going to work. I didn't think so. So let's just do it like this. Cool. And that should be pretty nice. So you're getting the encased industrial beams that you need. You will be getting them in a moment, right? Reminder, it doesn't need them very quickly. So we're slowing this down. It's going to take a while to make them. So, but that's, you know, expected. It's fine. It's cool. It's good. It's all good. It's all good. Right? All right, so next up, let's be prepared. So, I mean, I was starting with the thinking that I was going to do that, but now I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe what we'll have... I don't know if we're going to need to amp this up, right? I don't know how many... Can we make in the power line yet? Can we make the nuclear power plant? Wow, that's big. We're going to need some supercomputers, which we're making at our base, but we don't have on us at the moment. But I really wanted to see how much uranium fuel rods per minute you needed to run a nuclear power plant. But I guess we'll figure that out. We're going to assume that... we haven't brought our uranium over here yet, but that'll show up probably right here-ish. Let's get... Is this where I want these guys to chill, or do I want them to be elsewhere? I might not want them here yet. Let's hold off on doing this connection yet, right? I'll let these things craft, but I'm going to hold off on doing that yet. I don't want this in place yet, because I want to make sure that we've got the other stuff that we need kind of working properly. So let's look at the next thing that we need. So we've got, if we're going through the checklist, we've got encased industrial beams, check. We have electromagnetic control rods. We could bring them over here if we wanted to. Maybe we could just build our drone port now. Sounds like a good time. Should we just pop him like right here-ish? Does that sound cool? Yeah, why not? That works, right? And then what we could do is this port goes to Electrorod's base. And Electrorod's base will come to this port. And then we can rename him Electrorod's Uranium. Nuclear, right? What's the yellow exclamation point mean? He might be en route. My drone might be en route, actually. Look, drone! There's a drone. Nobody panic, but there's a drone. Or maybe that's not a drone. That's a flying creature. Those might be the drones, like way in the distance. If we take a look, can we see a drone happening here? There's a drone. Hey, look! He's taken off. I think he's on his way. So now he's on his way. Cool. So he should be showing up. We should be seeing him soon. Actually getting very close. Where are you, drone? There you are. Hey, buddy. What's up? Did you bring me some electromagnetic control rod dudes? What's up, drone? How are you? Landing? Dude, that is cool. Drones are the best. I really like that. We were just kind of playing with them last time, but this is super awesome. Then he lands in there. He drops off his stuff. And I'm assuming you're going to get my stuff for me. And then I guess he gets an empty container back. And he's got the electromagnetic control rods. Perfect! Perfect! And then you're going to, you know, output those to wherever. Right? That works for me. I hope. I hope. I'm winging this, guys. I'm winging this. Alright, next step is going to be sulfuric acid, which is in a refinery, right? So refinery is going to make sulfuric acid for us. So let's kind of line this up with this dude. Now he's going to need the water and the sulfur for the sulfuric acid. Now he's going to wind up making 50 per minute, but we said we wanted him to make 30 per minute because we're going to need 40. Is that right? We're going to double check our maths on that in a moment, but I think so. Think you'll reach? Conveyor belt is too long. By what, 8 inches? Yeah, very, very barely too long. So if we moved you a little bit closer, refinery. So remember what I said about, you know, yada yada, something something. Let's try and make it so we can expand this. Forget everything I said. Forget expanding this. We're just going to overclock things. Right, so there's your sulfur. There's your water. And then you're going to be throttled to 30 per minute. And then you're going to connect out to here. You can tap down to there, whatever. Doesn't matter. Everybody's connected. Alright, so now you're making the sulfuric acid that we need you to make, right? And then in the blender, we're going to want to combine encased uranium cells. So this is going to need concrete, uranium, and the sulfuric acid, right? And it's going to be 40 per minute. So let's make sure that you're aligned properly, because you're not at the moment. Is that close? Close, but not quite. That should be cool. Okay. So I want you to output the 10 that you had, right? Loop it right around to the back. Might be a little bit too far. Say here. And then you're going to have a junction pipe, let's say here. You're going to go in there. Well, that is a jumble. Right? And then this guy connects into here, and that should be cool. That looks good to me. And then you just need some semblance of power. So far, so good. Encased uranium cell. Sweet. Okay. Yeah? We'll find out. We'll find out. Now, you also need concrete, which I'm going to have to splitter off of you. What are the chances I'm going to sneak through this drone port, huh? Pretty unlikely. Made this a little bit too tight, didn't I? Remember when I said I was going to keep my factories organized and tidy and nice? It was determined that that was a gigantic lie. That was not true at all. Alright, now what we need to do is get power over to there so we can start pumping our uranium over. And then all we have to do is get uranium into this guy, right? And he's going to handle the sulfuric. He's going to make 25 of these per minute. Now, I might need to bump this up, remember, because something I forget. But let's try the manufacturers now, right? Let's prepare where they're going to go. Right? So you guys are going to chill there-ish. Okay. And if we want 2 of these, we're going to want 40 per minute. Right? So I actually want you to be 40 per minute. Okay. So I'm going to have to wait until we get the uranium in here. We'll probably have to overclock our sulfur maker, and that's okay. That's okay. We'll only have to overclock it once, though, I think. And then we can throttle this properly. Once I get a little bit of uranium in here, I can determine what I actually need, right? But then you've got the encased industrial beams coming off of here, right? You've got the electromagnetic control rods coming off of here, and then you've got this guy coming off of here. Cool? I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, is good. So you're gonna splitter, 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 but I actually want you guys to be facing that way. Okay, so check this out. You're gonna go really, buddy? The worst. You're into there, you're into there, you're into there. Encroaching on another's clearance, lies, and untruths. You're really not, by the way, encroaching on anybody's clearance. Whose clearance am I encroaching on with all these lies that you're telling me? None of this is true. There's no clearance encroachments. What if we pulled it away a minute? We could do that, right? To make that happen. Yeah. So what if we did... Stop making me fall. Right? Okay. And then you facing this way, and you facing that way, and you facing that way, and you facing that way, and then you can go into there. Encroaching on others, what? In what way am I encroaching on anything? I'm encroaching on nothing, sir. Nothing. See, I knew there was a reason that I did this sneaky trickery with the belts thing. And I think that's what it was, is the encroaching on others' clearance nonsense. So you're going to go this way, and you're going to go that way. So that you can go into here. Cool? Alright, so now because I realized that the encroaching on clearance thing is probably related to my sneaky belt trick, and that's the reason I did the sneaky belt trick, is because of the encroaching on clearance mess that it does. Let's deconstruct all of this so that we can get rid of this. Okay, and we'll just do it this way, the proper way, like I had it before. That look about right? Now you're not going to let me do the sneakiness, are you? I'll figure it out. Okay. Got it ready. So then you're going this way. You're going this way. Cool. And then you're going to go to here. You're going to go to here. It's a little bit low, but I'm tired of messing with it. You're going to go into there. You're going to go into there. You're going to be these guys. You're going to get this. I'm just giving you... Well, let's give you half of them. We'll split them up. You're going to be this guy. And then you're going to come across here and feed both of these. Cool. And look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. That works. Cool. And then we just have to wait for the actual uranium so we can adjust these numbers, and then we should be good, right? Because we want 40 encased uranium cells per minute is what we want. 40. 20 each, right? So that's all looking good. So all we got to do is pipe uranium into this dude at a rate of, I don't know, more than 50. Probably, but less than 100, right? Yeah, because we're at 160%. Yeah. So like 80-ish. Yeah, it should be fine. All right, so let's get our proper jetpack equipped, because we're gonna need this. So we have to get two things. One, we have to get power over to our uranium miner, and two, we need to run a conveyor belt over to there. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the conveyor belt running right from here. So I'm going to have our conveyor pole ready to go. I'm going to build it here so that he's ready. Cool. I'm going to make you a Mark V. Not that you need to be. But I'm going to have Mark V transport of whatchamacallit coming across here. And the reason I'm doing this and prepping it like this is because I want to see it moving in the right direction. I don't want to go all the way out there and realize that my conveyors are backwards. That would be a bad time. Right? Nobody wants to see that. Conveyor belt is too steep. I'm sure it is. Should I drone it over there? That's an option that I hadn't quite considered. Yeah, we'll conveyor belt it or drone it. Conveyor belt it or drone it? Really good question. I hadn't considered droning, and I could drone it, and that could be cool. So my problem is if I want to drone it, I need batteries. So I'm going to say no to drone. Alright, so I'm just using vertical belts. And what I'm going to do is do most of this off camera, and we'll be back in a minute when we're ready to... Well, it's a little bit too ugly, isn't it? I really don't like... I know that it lets you, but I really don't like it when you're... If they go through trees or brush, that's not a big deal. I'm going like straight through the terrain is just a little bit no for me. Just not my favorite. Alright, back in a few once I've, gotten all this going. Right? So my conveyor belt, if I lift you up a little bit, should be cool. Yep. And then we're just basically heading off over to there. I'm going to have to get this going, but we'll come back. I'm going to do this off camera. You guys have seen me run enough conveyor belts. You know what it looks like, right? Not a big deal. Now, with a little bit of luck, I've got enough aluminum alclad sheets to connect these bad boys. But it looks like I'm going to be extremely close to not enough, which is just typical of dire luck. Yeah, we are just short a few aluminum alclad sheets. So I'm going to run back home and catch you guys in a minute once I get a few more bits of aluminum. So while I'm here back at my base, I can pick up some supercomputers. Don't mind if I do. Which, by the way, backstuffed, which is cool. You can tell how long I've been working on things now. What else did I need while I was here? More aluminum. That was the main thing I came for, and I haven't gotten that yet. Everything else is good, though? Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, everything's processing quite nicely, actually, so I'm very pleased with that. Here's my drone area, so let's make sure that we've got a healthy amount of aluminum alclad sheets. 5 stacks sound about right to you guys? I like that. Now, I've not even touched Well, I've actually a little bit touched my aluminum casings. Barely, but I'll top them off. And how am I for concrete at the moment? Not bad. I should be good. All right, heading back to my uranium lane, and then we're going to start irradiating large chunks of the world. That's what's going to happen. Now, I absolutely could have run this stuff with trucks. I absolutely could have run this stuff with trains. These are all options that I absolutely could have handled. You know, I am doing it the way I'm doing it. And that is the end of that sentence. It's really not that far, the aluminum stuff. Like, I wouldn't want to run an aluminum or any kind of conveyor belt much further than I currently am. But just like the verticality of the terrain and everything made this easier to run with belts. It's really not that far. If you remember back a couple episodes when I kind of mapped this all out. All right, back out at our uranium line. So let's get ready to irradiate a large area of our world. Because, yay. So you're going to connect into this bad boy, maybe. And if we check this out, if we head into the cave here, what we should see is uranium starting to happen. Now, I don't remember exactly how bad things get from just a little bit of uranium, but I think the uranium being on the belts is going to be a little bit of a, you know, radiation issue. See, yeah, look, radiation is happening. See? So be cognizant of this, right? The more uranium you have, the higher your radiation level. Now, it's not enough to make me wear a suit just yet, but once this all starts congregating back at the uranium location that we've got set up, it will. So we'll see what happens, right? So I'm just gonna follow this stuff. It's moving. You know what? I could just ride the belt, couldn't I? If I equipped my hazmat suit, we could just ride the belt. And yeah, a little bit of radiation, but meh. Oh, except for that part, I won't be able to ride. The one, I think that's the one and only dude that we've got here. That's alright, it's not a big deal. I might be able to hover pack my way up there. Yep, hover pack it is. Booyah. Sweet. Now, I don't know how much uranium we need, and I forget what we're getting. Are we getting 120 back there? Is that what we're getting? 120 per minute? Sounds like roughly the correct number. I would hope. But if we tap down into here now, everything should now be coming together. Right? Our uranium's feeding in. Radiation is not terrible yet, but look, we're starting to get our encased uranium cells. Sweet. So we need 80 uranium per minute, we need 64 sulfuric acid, and we're getting back 16. So that's 48 that we need to produce over here. So I need you to produce 48. So actually we don't need to overclock him, which is nice, right? Because 48 plus the 16 spitting out is 64 that we need. So that's pretty cool. And then you guys, we can have... See, look, we're starting to have a little bit of radiation situation, right? Not terrible yet, but it's happening. It's happening. Yeah, it's starting to hurt to be here. So let's equip our stuff. So then you're going to spit out here, and I would like you to have a... Cool. And then you're making uranium fuel rods. So you need 40 per minute, each of you guys. But yeah, look at the radiation level. It's climbing. Because as we're storing uranium here, and as there's uranium in the belts, we're going to start having a radiation-y area here happen. Okay? But in a moment, you're going to be producing enough of this to start our construction here. Cool. Cool. Mildly radioactive. So once they're encased in the cells, they're not bad, but the uranium itself is moderately radioactive. Okay. And then the uranium fuel rods, also moderately radioactive. So as all this stuff backstuffs, we're going to have more and more radiation in this area. So absolutely something to be aware of. Now, did you backstuff yet? No, actually, you haven't backstuffed at all. But that's all right. We're doing fine. We have plenty. Hey, look, he's crafting. Construction is happening. Yes! Yes! It's going to take 2 minutes, but it's going to craft. Now, I have no idea how much of these we're going to need, these uranium fuel rods, in our nuclear reactors. But I think it's about time that we build a nuclear reactor. What do you guys think? Is it nuclear reactor time for Dyer? I'm going to say yes. So let's be prepared for our power plant. Nuclear power plant. Dun, 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 dun. I need to be flying for this. How can I not be flying for this? Nuclear power plant. Hey, what are you doing? Okay. Dude, look how big that is. That is huge. So he has an input and an output on the same side. And is there no inputs or outputs on the back? That's kind of annoying. But he's big, for sure. So let's make sure that we're ready here. I don't know how many of these we're going to need, right? I legitimately have no idea. Definitely one of the bigger structures that you make in this game, for sure. Look at that bad boy. Plus, he looks super cool once he actually has, like, you know, electricity in him. Nice. All right. So he makes 2,500 megawatts. That's 2,500. Keeping in mind that I'm not even making... That's a lot, right? That's a lot of power. But, I mean, that's what you would expect, right? Oh, you also need water. You need water. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. I forgot that he needs water. See the radiation happening already? See the radiation happening already? It's starting. It's starting, guys. We're starting to irradiate this area. Nobody ever let Direwolf work with nuclear stuff in real life, okay? It's a huge recommendation that I'm going to make. So now you're going to have an input and an output. We're going to want to keep that in mind. What I'd really like to be able to do... Can I do something like this? But lift you so that you're at the height? Almost. Because I want to be prepared for potentially having 2 of these. And that's going to be the thing, right? Stackable pipeline dudes. Are neither of you aligned such? That one actually is. So that works. Alright, so 2 stackable pipelines up. And you're good. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm down with that. Let's get ready to disconnect you. I want you more so over here-ish. Okay. Cool. So now you should be getting the water that you need. No power. Didn't I just connect you up? Yep, water's coming in. Alright, we're getting close to the wrapping up point, but there's no way that I'm gonna wrap up on a cliffhanger where we don't turn on this nuclear reactor, right? So that's gonna happen. So let's get the fuel in here. So you're producing uranium fuel rods, 0.4 per minute. I've got 2 of them. I'm gonna stick these in manually. Oh, by the way, holding on to radiation is bad without a radioactive suit. Yeah, be reminded of that. All right, so now you've got 0.2 per minute, and you're producing uranium waste. Whoo, look at that, 0.2 per minute. And you guys are making what? 0.4 per minute? Nice. All right, that's cool. So theoretically right now, we can power 4 nuclear power plants. 4 nuclear power plants, because we're making 0.8 total per minute, and you use 0.2 per minute. Now, the question is, if I overclock you, are you like the oil power plants where you're going to use, wow, consumption 300 M3 water per minute. He's actually burning through a lot. He's burning through a lot of water. We're going to have to pump up way more water, though. Water is going to be our problem. It's 300 M3 per minute. Bananas. That's a lot of M3. Yeah, you're going to have to be Mark II pipes. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of water. A lot of water needs to come up here. A lot of water needs to come up here. But it's cool, right? All right. And we're making uranium waste, which we cannot awesome sink. The byproduct of consuming uranium fuel rods in the nuclear power plant. Non-fissile uranium can be extracted. Handle with caution. Caution, highly radioactive. See how big in caps highly is? Not messing around. Not messing around. So, look at that. Look how cool that is. Now, can I put you on standby for a minute? Yeah, that should be fine. So you can fill up with the water, and we'll back stuff water. So, we learned some things today. Number 1, we learned we don't have nearly enough water. Number 2, we noticed that we're making lots of uranium waste, which can be processed, but not yet. And number 3, you know what else I really wanted to check out was the overclocking. So if 5,000 megawatts, right, if we overclock you, it's 0.34. So just like the other guys, the oil dudes, 0.4 per minute. And you're going to be making 6,250. But you're also going to need 600 M3 of water per minute. But that might be cool. So with 3 overclockers, you require exactly 0.4 per minute. And you produce more than double. So requires twice as much fuel, but produces more than twice as much power. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Look at that. That is bananas. It says 5,000. What I assume is going to happen is at some moment it's going to flip over to 6,250. But we're going to need a lot more water. So let's wrap up the episode here. We'll come back next time and get way more water up here. So in theory, we want 600 M3 of water. If we wanted 2 of these power plants, right, because this is 0.4 per minute it's making reliably, we can run 2 of these power plants with 3 overclockers each. We just need 2 sets of 600 water coming up, which we could absolutely do because that's exactly how much water we get in our Mark II build, dudes, right? Yeah, Mark II is 600 M3 of fluid. So that works out perfectly, actually. So I will probably want to do that. So you guys are going to have separate water lines coming up, right? So no longer will I connect into this water main. I'll have more pumps down there, and we'll have one line coming up dedicated to this nuclear power plant, and another line dedicated to this nuclear power plant. Cool? And that should be neat. We're going to look at that next episode, though. For now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time to play more with all this fun stuff. For now, though, take it easy.